Well, Keeper, we made a lot of progress on your truck here. I wanted to show you where we're at right now. I've got your alternator. You know, you had that original alternator system here with the regulator. This is a one-wire GM alternator. It self-excites, works all by itself. It clicks on when the RPM of the motor comes up and then starts charging. About a 100-amp alternator. I was able to get all this, you got your new quick fuel carburetor on there, which you can see that, electric choke, 600 CFM. That's going to work really, really nice. This steering, you know, we had discussed about upgrading, changing the steering. Well, this is an upgraded box, larger box, more powerful box. So I went in here and I put your new seals in here, new seals in the bottom. I redid all this bracketry where it was all laid back and out of place and got it up where it needs to be, painted all the parts, modified and cut this back a little bit to where we actually have some clearance right here now. Changed the hoses around a little bit where they work well. Completely redesigned and did all your fuel system in an all new fuel line all the way back. Put your filter in the back, a filter up front. I like to have that filter in the back so you can filter it before it gets to the pump. And then I like to have this clear filter up front to where if you're running or out somewhere and you have some issues, you can always look to see if there's fuel in there and if it's nice and clean and no water in it. So all this came out really, really nice and really, really tight. Now, as far as your steering goes, your steering was really jacked up. The cylinder here was in the wrong spot. So when your steering turned all the way to the right, this was maxed out. It wouldn't let the steering turn all the way to the right. So I've adjusted this and got it right in the perfect limits of where it needs to be. Then on your bump stops on your axle, they were welded in the wrong spot, so your wheels weren't turning as far as they should. Then you can see we've changed these bars and flipped them from side to side to where now they're actually got you more clearance to where the tire will actually turn all the way. So now your steering is just absolutely perfect. I have perfect range all the way to lock, bump stop without the wheel touching anything. Perfect clearance all the way to the other lock with a bump stop, wheels not touching anything. Now, all the rest of that's nice and tight. Now these headers, I decided to send these out. I could have bought new headers that were coated in black, but they were like almost $600. These headers you had, I inspected them. They were in really good shape. I was able to modify them to make some real nice clearance for them, and I sent them out and had them nitro plated. This nitro plating is on the inside and on the outside. It's baked on at 700 degrees for 6 hours. It'll stay this nice color and won't rust. Had the bolts done as well. The premium gaskets in here, and I put a little bit of sealant on those so those won't leak and cause trouble. Back here on this shifter, we got these twin sticks. These are the ones that you had. They didn't fit exactly on this transmission, so I've had to cut and modify them, but I've got them cut, modified, and sectioned in place to where they are working just perfectly now. And then once I get the body on, I'll probably cut these and bend these over to where they're a little more comfortable, because you can kind of see they're in the way of this, but I'm not going to do that until it's in the truck and I can see where they need to go. As far as the drive angles, that's what I'm working on today. Now, we just made the order with Tom's Bronco parts and James Duff. I had to put that in 2 different orders because James Duff's hood parts and the other items that I got from them, I forgot what else I got from them. They were a little better than the other companies, so I've searched every part and went through every part meticulously to make sure I get you a good part for it. But the issue we're having now is as much lift as we have. This shaft right here is around 25 degrees as it is right here, and it binds in these joints right here. And it's actually been hitting, you really can't always tell, but it's been binding up, and that's what's beat that axle out of it, front and rear. What they're going to do is put a flange type unit here with a better joint that will actually go up to 40 degrees of angle. So I'm working on that right now, trying to hash out. I got 2 different companies competing for this bid. So we'll see who I use for that. But then that'll fix both front and rear drive angles. Drive shafts will be in good shape. Back here on the rear, I'm filling up your rear end fluid right now. It's taking a little while because it's real thick gear oil and it's real cold here today. So get that filled up in place, and then if you look around here in the back, I'm working on customizing you some brake lines. So I've got this one almost in place. I'll flare and put an end on it. We put some brackets on the rear axle. This was so jacked up before, your brake lines were just hanging on the back of it. And then I'll run a new brake line into that, and then I will actually form and put ends on all this brake line, run that all the way up to the front. I've got brand new proportionate valve, master cylinder, and all that is set up for a front disc and rear drum brake system, and that ought to get that in good shape. So I just want to give you this quick update of where we're at. If you span around, you can see your truck's over there on the stand. We've got the engine bay of it ready to rapture line, and then we'll be ready to start doing some paint work. So let me get these brake system done up, and then we'll start on the body work.